Oh, hello, hello, and we are back. Welcome to another episode of Minutes Modcast with his mates. Hey, Perry and Mo.
Hey, Min.
Now, we should be getting Satya once we fix the cable from here to India, but let's crack on because it's been a while. And I don't know about you guys, but have you heard of this thing called AI?
What? No. What is that?
Yeah,
Min, what does it stand for?
I reckon it could be like the next big thing. Seriously, like it seems as though it's like business as usual. There's lots and lots of new news every day. But the thing that caught my eye is now we're kind of moving into the world of not only AI but humanoids and robotics and joining the things together. And you might have seen a few weeks ago there was a release of this humanoid robot called Neo, I think, where you could have like the robot assistant in your house, folding your laundry, putting your dishes away.
Was that weird robot that was dancing with Elon Musk?
No, that's a similar one. That's the Optimus, right?
Yeah.
From his company. But this was one, and it's like 20,000, or you can just rent it on a monthly, yearly basis. Well, for those of you that saw the robot, I'd love your thoughts.
So this is all about doing live demos, right? There's so much failures that happen. Elon Musk was doing one with the Cybertruck to tell everyone that it's armored and is super strong. So most of the times, if you are in the startup world and tech world, a lot of people fake it before they make it, right? They make it look like everything's there, sell the vision, sell the dream, and then get that money investment to then actually go and build it. We know, of course, there's this lady, I forget her name, but she scammed a lot of people with doing like fast tests and stuff. We talked about this, I think. Yeah, exactly, right? So there's these things that always exist, as much as like one of them were highlighted to us, but I think a lot of people do this. So this is another example in robotics that, of course, they want to increase their showcasing power and say, hey, we got the tech, we're powerful, show that. So you gotta stay safe sometimes, and I think that's what approach most companies and most people would do.
Yeah, agreed. A little bit like with Tesla and the full self-driving, it was very much like sell the dream first and get hundreds of millions of like users on board, get all of the training data, and then sort of make the reality hopefully happen one day. So yeah, it's something that's happened before. Perry?
I don't understand. So if you're building a robot now that can help you, why does it look like a human being with only 2 legs and 2 arms? Of course, me being Dr. Octopus. Why are we not building an octopus robot? Why do we start with limiting ourselves with only 2 legs and 2 arms? Is that...
Haven't we always done that, though? We always want to create something in our own image because maybe that makes it people to...
But that also makes it very uncomfortable for me. I saw this Chinese robot. It was a female robot with a clear ass put on the robot. I thought it looked really ridiculous, but that Chinese robot was moving very human-like.
Right.
But is that a big advantage to have a robot that moves like a human? I don't get that. Like, if you create something, why not create something that can do so much more than stand on 2 legs? But yeah. Maybe you're right, Min. Maybe we're just waiting for the sci-fi movies that we like the most to have that in real life or something. Maybe it's all about a dream. I don't know.
I would say the first thing is to break the perception. So human-like is more about familiarity because you know how to work with a human-like robot before we add more appendages or more kind of things to it. And I do not know of any machine or anything that we as humans have created have less relatability. I think only the washing machines and dishwashers are like now a rectangular shape. I cannot imagine them as circular shape anymore because it was introduced to us at a very earlier stage. For me, it's about slowly introducing how these systems will really work and then scale it up or scale it down depending how the next generation want to see it. Maybe we see it in anime model because when I talk to a lot of youngsters, they are more into animes more than human actors, and I would imagine one day that they would more have anime characters on these robots. Yeah.
As a robot, yeah. How would you like to see that, Min? How does your perfect robot looks like?
Yeah, no, I'm in two minds. In some ways, as Satya said, that familiarity of something that is like a human. But then, like you said, it's for me, it's also about what's the purpose and is that the best form for what it has to do. Maybe it is something that, rather than having two legs, is on wheels or can adapt to wheels or four legs, like, you know, the Spot, the army dog or whatever. So I think part of it's like the marketing, and it's easier, again, I think, to have something like a human, but I'm sure it'll adapt based on what the purpose is. For me, the whole thing with that Neo thing was the demo looked amazing the first couple of minutes, and then when they actually said it's actually a human controlling the thing with a VR headset, then it was like, man, did you have to? What's the point of this right now? Maybe you should have just kept it in research for another 6 months, 12 months. But again, we're talking about it, right? So they're getting the PR. We're kind of talking about the possibilities. Maybe that's what they plan to do. Get the investments in, and then they'll build it properly. What do you think, Harry?
Well, I saw a video yesterday of, last time we talked about the dark factories as well in China. Yes. And they created a state-of-the-art hospital in China now with lots of robots, not on two legs, but little cars just driving around. And they created a whole new system in blood samples and distribution in a hospital to save time. And that looked really awesome. The design of the hospital and the robots there, where there is more time for human interaction, and the running around with tests and going to a special department to get the results of whatever. That's all done by robots and systems in that hospital. That looked really cool because there was also some kind of serenity there because people were not running around, so there was more time to have human interaction. I really love that video. I need to look it up and share it with you guys. It was interesting. Yeah, a different way of using robots.
Because I think I've come across. For me, was just imagining the chaos even at hospitals in India where there are too many people in hospital, and assigning these tasks to just bring in a medicine, to really quickly bring in a report or something, instead of relying on a nurse or someone who's really busy with some other patient. These things can be delivered by machines. I think this was something very interesting for me. And I happened to talk to someone who is doing hospital design. So there is an entire field in itself, which says measures that you enter a hospital and until you exit the hospital, no matter in what condition, right? How many steps do you take for it? Where can you optimize it? So basically, it's an optimization problem. It's a classic computer optimization problem. Yes. And how do you smoothen the process for not only patient, but the family member or the caretaker who comes along with them? Because the studies have found that once the patient has recovered, the next patient is the caretaker of the patient, because that person is completely exhausted, even it's mentally, emotionally, physically, because they do a lot of work to care for the patient. And that's a very interesting study because they are doing it by modeling and simulation optimization using AI, like AI agents. Basically, agents mimic humans, and then they try and see where can you best optimize these movements for treatments.
I think we're going a little bit too fast, though. I just read a statement from Google CEO. They said, "Don't trust AI." Right, and as we know the hallucination side of things, if we do even give these the medicine to be given to a patient, it's quite risky still. There's difference between AI and automation, of course, as we all know it here. If you want to automate the steps, that's more concrete, of course. There are the steps, the logic, it will do it, but there's no interference in the decision making as much AI would be. So that is a different. Automating for me is yes, but I'm still questioning this agentic AI stuff yet to, use it to that level.